What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another Back for Blood deck build video, and today we're talking about the Shotgun DPS Nightmare deck. Now, shotguns are going to play a crucial role in saving some of your team, especially as a supporting DPS, whereas the sniper or AR may be the main DPS in your group. The big thing about shotguns is going to be that stumble chance. We're going to be looking specifically for those attachments for the ammunition that's going to be that 25, 50, or the best bet, 75% stumble chance. That's going to give you that saving ability to possibly hit one of those special infected that's either about to swing down on one of your teammates. Maybe Exploder or Reeker is possibly pushing in, about to barrel through all of your team, causing massive damage. You'll be able to hit that, push it back far enough away, or allow your team to push back far enough away in order to finish that off without taking massive damage from that Exploder or possibly Reeker. As you already know, Reekers, if they explode right next to you, they're going to cover you in that guts, much like the Boomer from Left 4 Dead. And then immediately it's going to be another horde on top of you. Could mean more Exploders, Reekers, Tall Boys. It's one of those small mistake moments that could cost you the run, but when you've got that shotgun with that stumble chance, you could save the entire run and keep that train moving really smooth on through that run until the finish line. Now, that being said, one of the main weapons that you want to utilize with this build is going to be that AA-12. You'll essentially be looking for that with that stumble ability, or stumble percent chance. Losing my train of thought here. And that's going to be a huge help to your entire team, as well as being the maximum DPS you can deal with as soon as you get that AA-12, along with some of the damage cards in here. And as long as you're hitting that weak spot, you're going to be melting a lot of these special infected. Even at a little bit of range, you'll be looking for that longer range barrel. That's going to help you out a ton. Now, the accuracy won't be the best at longer ranges, but at that medium type of range, maybe 20 to 30 meters out, you're still going to be dealing some heavy damage, and you will be able to still deal that stumble chance. Now, that being said, we'll get straight into the deck. Obviously, if you'd like to copy and paste this deck, I'll have it listed down in the description below in order by name, but we're starting off early with that scattergun skills. We want that 40% reload speed with the shotguns. Essentially, at the beginning of each run, obviously, we'll have the Express, which is now a bit better since it has increased the fire rate since the December update. I quite like it, but it's still not going to shine all that well until you get that stumble attachment, but it will be a devastating force in the beginning. But we still want to match up with that reload speed. We don't want to get caught in one of those moments where we're slowly putting shells in and letting our team die while we're not dealing that DPS. Right after that, we've got Rolling Thunder. We're gaining 35% move speed while firing with shotguns and 10% damage with shotguns. And that's going to help with our next card, Hyper Focus. Since we're taking a negative 40% move speed while shooting, we're going to have only negative 5% because of that, and adding that 50% weak spot damage, giving us that ample damage we need in order to melt some of those special infected. Now, when it comes to combat training, we're adding a little bit more of that bullet stumble damage with this, along with that 5% bullet damage. The big thing about this is just adding that stumble damage early on, helping us out in case we only get that 25% or 50% stumble chance, just giving us more of that ability to obtain that stumble moment. Now, right after that, we've got Silver Bullets, which is going to give us 10% bullet damage and that 15% effective bullet range. Sometimes with the shotgun, obviously, you want to get up close, but this is going to give us that ability to not be as close as we need to be, still dealing that maximum damage that we possibly can. Right after that, we've got Marathon Runner, no movement penalty for strafe or back pedal, so we can move left, right, and backwards. We can be kiting some of the special infected, walking backwards at the maximum speed, and still unloading all of those shells into that next special infected, or possibly moving away from a crowd of common infected as well. The shotgun will be great, especially the AA-12 at clearing some of those horde packs, and especially if you have one of those moments where you run out of sprint, you'll be able to backpedal fast enough away from the common infected in order to take them out before they can reach up to you, grab you, and give you that slowdown and possibly overwhelm you and destroy you, or possibly your team as well. And right after that, we've got Padded Suit. We want a bit more survivability with this, so we're taking that 10% damage resistance and 5 health. A little bit of a hit to our stamina efficiency, but that won't be affecting us for too much longer. We'll have another card to mitigate that negative, and at the same time, since we are getting up close and personal with the shotgun, we want a bit of that damage resistance in order to survive some of those heavy hits when we possibly don't melt one of those special infected. Maybe your aim isn't the tightest, or you couldn't get an angle on that weak spot. Can be problematic, and that damage will still be stronger as long as we're in the nightmare difficulty. Right after that, we've got Shell Carrier. We're getting that 30% shotgun ammo capacity and 10% damage with the shotguns. And right after that, Ammo Mule, 75% ammo capacity. Big thing about this, And all along through Nightmares, that ammo is going to be a bit scarce, and especially with the shotguns, if you do find that AA-12, you're going to be melting through those shells pretty quickly, so you want an ample supply of that. That's why we're doubling up on it. We've got the 30% and the 75. I believe you'll cap out at about 200 something shells, which should be more than enough, and in the gameplay I have showcasing it later on, I didn't utilize any other ammunition. I had plenty of ammunition for the entire team as well, so any of those moments you're coming across ammo caches, pick up all you can, share it with the team, and then hold the rest in reserve for the rest of your team in those moments when they may need it. Now, large caliber rounds, we're getting that 7.5 bullet damage, and we're getting that bullet penetration on this as well at 200%. This is going to be a huge help in some of those moments when clearing some of those common infected hordes. Like I said, we're doing that back pedal. We've got a line of them right there. We're just eating through them, causing damage all the way through, pushing through multiples of those enemies, and saving some of our ammunition in some of those moments when we're able to utilize that bullet penetration to take out large numbers of common infected. Now, right after that, we've got energy drink. We're gaining that 15% stamina, 25% weapon swap speed, and we're gaining more of that move speed while firing, so we're above the negative we've taken from hyper focused. And the biggest thing is that slow resistance. Like I said before, we're going to get up close and personal with the shotgun, so we're going to be taking a hit here and there, so we're going to gain a little bit of that resistance to gain that ability to move out quicker, or possibly just move faster in some of those moments when we're taking a couple of hits, maybe straggle away from not taking all the hits of possibly 5 to 10 of those common infected, and only 3 at a time. Melt them down, be able to move away and quickly regain the situation and take out that common infected horde. Now, right after that, Buckshot Bruiser. When you use shotguns, gain 0.25 temporary health for each pellet that hits. This is going to be extremely helpful when it comes to ogres, breakers, hags, some special infected as well, especially the reeker. Since that one doesn't have a weak spot, you'll be gaining quite a bit of temporary health from that. And right after that, we'll be utilizing that with NUMB to gain an additional 15% damage resistance with that temporary health. Now, when it comes to common infected, you won't be gaining too much of that temporary health off them, so we will try to utilize that Buckshot Bruiser with some of those special infected. And if you're going up against the hag or the ogre, we won't be dealing the maximum damage to that. Obviously, we will need to be pretty close in order to deal a large amount of that damage, but in some of those moments when you need some extra damage resistance and you're in one of those fights like Heralds of the Worm Part 1, say the ogre is pushing all the way in, you'll be the one that's kind of gaining that temporary health from hitting the ogre and then just melting through those special infected that are following right behind him in case he's made it all the way down the street and you're back at the safe room just holding out in some of those moments. Can be a huge help in moments like that. Right after that, we've got Ridden Slayer. We're adding an additional 20% weak spot damage, just really amplifying that DPS. As you've already noticed, this isn't the maximum DPS we could cause, but since we're up close, Nightmare's dealing a bit more damage, we wanted a bit more survivability, and we're utilizing that stumble ability to really help the team with this build and be a supporting DPS instead of the main DPS with this build. But right after that, we've got Hellfire, which is giving us an additional 45% move speed while firing and 5 move speed while not firing. This is going to help us out a ton in some of those moments when you need to kind of circle around up close with one of those tall boys, bruisers, angled or move around in an angle to get at that weak spot and truly melt them down completely. Sometimes you won't need to do that, especially if you've got an upgraded AA-12. Generally, from whatever angle you're firing, as long as you're up close, you're essentially going to melt that special infected fairly quickly before you even empty that complete mag. If not, if you're at a bit of a distance, it probably will take the entire mag, or possibly a bit more if you're at a larger distance. But it can be an extreme melter up close, especially if you hit that weak spot. And having that additional move speed with the Marathon Runner, as well as for our movement speed while firing, it's going to give us all the mobility we need to kind of kite around these people, or possibly kite them in different directions in order to save the team from the damage that could possibly be taken from them, and give us the time to deal that DPS to take them down, or allow the rest of the team to also line up that shot on the weak spot, take them down a bit quicker, and save us on some ammunition. Now, the gameplay I have showcasing for you today is going to be off of, I believe it was Act 2. We just made it into Act 3, finished out Act 2 with this fairly simply. Finally found some fairly decent randoms. Was a pretty enjoyable time. I kind of got to kick back, and not really have to worry about much. They were kind of just carrying me along, but I was still able to deal that massive amount of damage, help them out, save them in certain moments, and really showcase how well this deck can pair with another DPS that's a sniper rifle, healer, and somebody that's more of like a utility mobility person. Now that being said, we'll be working on a utility deck tomorrow. That's kind of a support character for the rest of the team. Essentially, I'll try to utilize that as Carly. I did utilize Carly in this build. It's one thing you could choose, or you could possibly go for somebody like Holly for that additional damage resistance. That could be a huge help as well. When it comes to the cleaners, it's up to your personal preference. But me personally, it's either Carly for that additional use speed, or it's going to be Holly if somebody's already utilizing that character in order to gain that additional damage resistance as a passive ability. It's going to be a huge help, and it's going to be a bit tanky, not exactly the most tanky that we could possibly make it. I thought about utilizing a hipfire build with this, but the cards that it would take in order to put that in would stop us from really having that strong mobility and survivability, along with that ability to have maximum amount of ammunition. But that being said, we'll get straight into the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed this, and if you'd like to see more of this content live, or possibly have any questions about the deck, hit the link in the description. Follow me over at Twitch. I'm streaming every day. We'll be doing the rest of the Nightmare for the next coming week, building some decks out, building some different combinations as well for 4-man teams. But that'll be coming in the future, and if you'd like to see that live, hit that link in the description. But on that note, let's get straight into the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.
Anyone catch the weather today? Wondering if I should bring a jacket.
Smithy's lost contact with a group of scouts in your area. The last report was disturbing. Be on guard.
First right there. Alright, report the hag back. Okay, here he comes.
Seen us!
Right there.
Should be able to stumble the hag now.
Flash it, flash it.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. Timing is everything. Hey, darling. You ain't looking so good.
Now that's how we get it done.
Ain't seen much that can run around without a head. Except a chicken, of course. This is no place for lone wolves.
They're coming, they're coming. Look at it.
I just feel like I should have brought a toolkit instead.
Got blood on my boots.
First there. Be careful, be careful. They don't lay that bird right there. Alright, flashbang it.
Something's over there.
Oh god. I don't know if that's too close to those birds. Oh, thank God.
Watch out! Birds!
Over there. Checking the vehicle. Need this. Well, this is grim. Well, that's my workout for the day. Cover me.
Don't see anyone else's name on it.
Make room! Woo!
hear it somewhere.
Homeboy and wait, get back.
Oh.
You still alive?
No. Ooh.
Down! Hey! Mind your footing out
Fall back
here.
over here.
Oh shit. And we got a shotgun ammo.
Give it some.
What's that?
Here. Now I won't feel bad about forgetting your birthday.
Shotgun here.
Oh, Super 90.
Perfect.
Being covered in blood is
Yeah,
that
I'm good.
exhausting. Everyone still in one piece? Sometimes
Range
I
and
think
accuracy is just not the
I don't
same.
hate you. For there, but by the grace of God go I.
How does that have less damage though?
Holy shit! Supply crate.
See, that's a crazy part. A green is beating a blue when it comes to the Super 90.
Never thought I'd be doing this when I was
Thanks.
at medical school.
Gotta patch myself up.
Start off over here.
X9 right there if you want that.
Oh,
Hold
Thanks.
still.
yep.
This won't hurt.
Oh, if it didn't have that mobility,
Okay,
that damn attachment. God, it makes me so slow.
Gotta reload. Well, let's do this. Oh well. Now or never. Get down!
wait.
Watch it! There! Now blow its fucking head off.
Any heavy hitter fans? Personally, the recoil chafes.
That's mine. Here's the first aid cabinet here.
Got a bad feeling about
Up.
this.
He's a wall. You want to do it? Alright.
Reload! You gotta think like a bad
You want this time?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it with this tack now. Nah, what's going on, Viking? Well, we finally switched over to the tack,
Somebody was prepared.
and we've got that 50% on bullet stumble.
Another shotgun. Oh,
Yeah, it's really hindering that mobility. Hardcore. I could definitely use something better than that.
First aid cabinet.
oh yeah.
Let's do this! Get the head! What the
Cover me!
guys?
Reload! Today's not your lucky day.
Alright, let's go.
Might want to use that first aid.
Longer
cabinet.
range. Oh,
Slowing you down out there.
You see that?
oh my god, they're trying to tell me to get it. Alright, fine.
Nobody's gonna use it?
I already used it.
Over there? Fucker, there! Crusher!
Let's see how it does against the Crusher.
Reloading here! Harley, get it to her!
Not bad.
Watch out! Birds!
Yeah, the reload speed does make it a bit better.
Looks like I got a goose stuck in there.
This was not my intention, I promise.
Let me take
No
care of
way.
this.
Alright, now we gotta go. I got a pipe. Yeah.
Save that for me. I need to patch this.
Oh, thank God.
Where are you guys? Well, we're still breathing.
Oh, Bogart's
That's
dead?
something.
Alright, let's go, let's go.
What are you doing out there? Watering the flowers?
So sorry about that, Bogart. All right, he just exploded. I don't know. I just shot him once. Unreal how low the speed is that they give you compared to your actual speed. GPU driver? What do you mean?
Is it over? I never thought I'd experience it when I was at medical school.
But it doesn't have. Ooh, but I can do that.
Always could be the one in the middle.
Can you, boss? I'll take it.
Alright, gotta keep offense out quick.
Anyone have the weather today?
I'll buy it.
Wondering if I should bring a jacket.
Can somebody buy me 2 pipe
Gonna
bombs?
need to find that cargo.
I can, no, I got enough, I got enough.
Get back! Woo! 10 points for me.
Let's see how the A12 runs it.
Wow, that thing's huge.
No.
Here, anyone need
We have new ones today.
pipe bomb here?
I'm full.
Reloading. Meds.
Or you need to buy them. Or
Yeah, I'm
download it.
just gonna drop this pipe on the bottom.
Hey, could be worse. At least it didn't sink.
What exactly does a purple python do? Firepower 900, 12 seconds, 8 meter
Reminds me of
radius.
a whale I saw on the beach. Its guts were
Oh yeah,
everywhere,
you will
too.
need that. Not sure how much it'll actually affect you, but
Too much shit. Plane's cracked open like an egg.
Don't see anyone's name on it.
Hold still. This won't hurt.
I probably should have
That
grabbed
thing's huge.
Yep. I'll come back for it.
2 stun guns instead.
Then when we start,
No
I'll throw the 4th pipe on. Come back to it.
Mm.
Ding, we got a winner.
That's mine. No.
Who knows? Maybe there's just another patch. I almost never look at it. It's like here and there whenever I have to open up another application
Over 2, this is
through the
Survivability.
bottom right.
We're
I'll just
inbound
notice it
on
has
your
that
position.
exclamation point next to it.
Find the attack cargo. Hook it up, and we'll do the
But
rest.
who knows how long it's possibly been there like that.
Phillips out.
Got one. Right here. Incoming. I've had worse tick bites.
Take the next one.
Thank you for playing.
Don't want happening. Give me some light, will ya?
Look, there. Stun gun here.
What's that?
Damn, I hate to have had to use that immediately.
And then we see the next one. Fuck. Two get moved.
Cleaner.
Come on, Bogart.
We're on our way back.
Oh shit.
And next one's over there. Bogart, there's two people.
Excuse me!
Another day in paradise. A little knowledge can be worth more than the weapons in your shoes.
I'm 4 or 5 bucks. Alright, we gotta go. Do what you can.
They need this.
Alright, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Aim it. I just did what?
Get those lines attached.
Not this one.
Anytime you guys want to join in, fine with me. Here.
We gotta go to the other one. Let's go. Are we bouncing?
I don't usually like to distract attention, but on this occasion, who am I kidding? Left mag. Got one, right here. Ugh, looks like I got a tooth stuck in there. I need that. Incoming.
Bless you,
I
hon.
appreciate it.
Time to waste.
Reloading here.
We gotta go, we gotta go.
Don't fret, hon. Be right with you. Watch out.
It's over here, it's over here. The last one. Got it. Got it, let's go.
You see that? Here we go. Holly's down.
It's not over here.
Everything has a soft spot.
Ah, it is.
Get ready. We're inbound.
I'll kite it, I'll kite it, I'll kite it.
Why am I doing this again? Need to reload.
Oh, you kite it. I'll get it.
This is the last of them. Hook it up and get on, then we'll get the hell out of here.
Lock on.
There we go.